Hi, I'm Janet. This is so weird. My dog's just looking at me like, what are you, what are you doing? Um, I'm filming a YouTube video. I put it on my calendar, so now I'm doing it. I just feel very weird. I do a lot of videos on my Instagram, but I think the difference is I have the screen flipped around so I can see myself, so I at least feel like I'm talking to myself. In this situation, I'm literally just talking to my dog, and I guess the three little... Anyways, I'm gonna set my timer for, I use this trick with my 3-year-old, setting my timer. I'm setting it for 10 minutes, and when it goes off, I'm gonna stop. And it's not gonna be, you can tell already, it's gonna be a little bit, a lot of it messy, unedited. This is just what I'm doing. This is how I'm getting my feet wet, because if I don't ever do it, then I will never have done it. So, here goes. I was going to read the first page or so of the book that I'm writing, just to get this going, but I can kind of paraphrase it because it's my own life. So, okay, I'm 33 years old. I have a 3-year-old. I had her when I was 30. I live in Athens, Georgia. My life has changed immensely in the past couple of years. As lives do after you get out of your 20s, when you have a kid, breakups, just all of the stuff. But how did I get here? That's kind of what my book is about. And there's a lot of I'm just trying to provide context, because I've done a lot of kind of weird, bad, fucked up shit. And I feel like I would like to explain myself, at least to myself. So, all right. How far back do I go? My dad's Guatemalan. He moved to the States I believe an illegal immigrant as a 17-year-old, and he already had some family living up in Lawrence, Massachusetts, so that's where he went. My mom, WASP as they come, took summer vacations to the Adirondacks, went to Princeton, is from a family, just kind of like a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant family. How they got together, I had one idea in my head, and then I asked my mom about it, but apparently they were both part of the same Christian youth ministry, learning Spanish. They were both going to they both wanted to be missionaries to South America. And in my mind, the sexy romantic version is that he was helping her learn Spanish, and then they learned a little bit more than that and ended up getting together. And they got married. I'm not sure their ages then, but when I was born, my mom was 30 and he was 25, and I'm the second oldest. So there was another one ahead of me. So, he was young. She was a little bit older. I wonder if that explains why sometimes I like younger dudes. Is it genetic? I don't know. That's a weird thing to wonder. Weird or not to know. But anyways, they got together. Older brother was born. They got married against the advice of, I think, both of their families. Which, there's a little bit of that in our family too. Usually people who are, in love or wanting to get married just don't really listen to what their families say, and that's their prerogative. They probably know best, or think they know best for what's going on in their lives, and if they want to be married to a person or not. So mom and dad get together. We live in Massachusetts. When I'm born, I was born in Malden Hospital in Massachusetts. And for as long as I can remember, my dad never really had like a profession. He worked at a lot of different jobs. I'm not even sure what he was doing then. My mom has always been a teacher. She either homeschooled us in the home and, provided a very structured learning environment. She was like a good homeschool teacher, aside from the fact that they like didn't want us to know anybody else. It was kind of like we'll keep them safe from the outside world by just, here's a rock. Let's just live in this rock. Let's live under this rock. Keep them here. Make them wear long dresses and skirts. That was my childhood, basically. I mean, we did a lot of traveling. I guess it was more like migrating, looking for work and better opportunities. And so when I was 3, maybe even younger, we moved to Maine from Massachusetts. Not really sure. I think that it might have had something to do with some church friends. We lived in a little house down by the river, the Penobscot River, right near the bridge. And I have some really fond memories of that house. What did we call it? I think we just called it the house on the river, the little house in Bucksport. I don't know. My younger sister, no, she wasn't born there. She was born in Massachusetts. Anyways, you can tell I don't know my own life story, but that's okay. I'm just getting this out of the way so that I never have to shoot another first YouTube video again. And if anybody watches it, that's cool. If not, I'm getting all this out of myself, so that's good. I remember learning to ride my bike in that big parking lot there outside of that house. That was the first time we lived in Maine. We then moved to Puerto Rico from Maine, which is like a random move, but I think my dad maybe knew some people there. It was warmer. I know that he really, really hated the cold. So it was warmer in Puerto Rico. He still had trouble finding work in Puerto Rico too, though. So I don't know if the cold was why he was unemployed in Maine. I have good and bad memories of Puerto Rico. I was there from probably ages 4 to 6, something like that. And, my mom and dad were doing the best they could. And being a parent helps me look back and see, oh shit, okay. They were just overwhelmed by their problems and the family problems and just everything that was going on, and they were just doing the best that they could, which does help me, I don't want to say justify, but come to peace with certain ways that I regret that I was raised. And people are just doing their best, and being able to understand that has helped me forgive a lot of what I held against my father, who is now deceased, so that makes it even fucking more confusing and complicated, because we never got to have like an adult to adult conversation about like, hey, what were your thoughts here? Why did you do that? I've had conversations like that with my mom, and it's helpful. It's not like, oh, that changes everything and I no longer have trauma from the decisions that you guys made when I was a child. But it is like, it's good to have it out in the open and just both acknowledge like, oh, this was difficult, but also it was difficult for my mom too, just trying to do her best. So we're in Puerto Rico. We lived in a house in Aguas Buenas, up in the mountains, right on a hillside. Like I said, good and bad memories. The crime rate was pretty high and our car broke down a lot. So I remember we'd be coming home and then, the car would break down, and immediately I was scared that like the highway robbers were going to get us. They never did. And cars did stop to help, and nothing bad happened. It was people that truly They're probably like, why the fuck is this family on the side of the road in the dark? They're gonna get shot. So they stopped to help us. But, you know, nice how things work out sometimes. And my little brother was born in Puerto Rico. And there's always been this like underlying distrust of the medical system in my family. And sometimes I feel that way, and then other times I'm like, what is wrong with me? This is a huge handicap that I don't trust doctors. So I have not come to grips with that. This video is not about me talking about the medical system in the US or anywhere else. But all of that aside, my mom decided to have David, my little brother, at home with a midwife at home in Puerto Rico, house in the mountains, basement apartment, down a rocky flight of stairs with no handrail. Oh, that was 10 minutes. I guess I'll tell about the birth in the next video. How's that for a hook? Oh my God. All right, well, you gotta start somewhere. You gotta fucking push post, publish. All right, peace out. If anybody watched that, send me a text and be like, I watched that. All right, bye, motherfuckers.